What is up, board members of the Benerit Group? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are diving back into Season 2 of Witch from Mercury. Last time we learned about what happened to Eddie. She is essentially a ghost in the shell, or in this case, a Gundam. Earthhouse tried to sell people a glass of Tico's tits, and Guel is trying to make his way back to space. This time, Guel will return to school and duel Suletta. Miorine will agree to work with Prospera, and the race for the new president of the Benerit Group begins. So let's get into this. Belmeria is disgusted with learning about what happened to Prospera's first daughter. Prospera points out that her disgust is hypocritical, as Belmeria once worked on gun format tech to enhance the human respiratory system under Dr. Cardonabo. In other words, Belmeria is truly no different than Prospera, so she should stop acting so high and mighty. The news is reporting on the Dawn-of-Fold attack on the Astakasia School of Technology. There is a growing anti-Spacian sentiment on Earth. Protests now become riots. The three companies are meeting. They wonder where Sarius is. Of course, Shadik plays dumb and pretends to not know. It seems their hardline politics is starting to backfire. They have to elect a new president. Shadik plans on running if this were to happen. He doesn't seem worried about Miorine anymore. Now that Delling is no longer the president, Miorine won't have to be used as a trophy. The school is currently under strict restrictions due to the recent attack. Many students have left. Choo-Choo is mad that they still have Nika confined. Earthhouse always suffers when things go wrong. Choo-Choo's Demi and Ariel have been confiscated. Some of the students come to harass them. They throw a can at Martin's stupid bowl cut. Miorine comes over and scares them off with the one thing young people are afraid of: video evidence. Sabine wonders why Nika doesn't join the Shadik faction. She is also an Earthian, but she says she hasn't been since Shadik took her in. She says that Shadik will be the one to create a bridge between Earth and Spacians. Guel makes his return to the Benerit Group front. Lauda passes out from realizing his brother is alive. Petra tells Guel that his brother hasn't had time to grieve for their father, as he had to take over the company and answer to the Benerit Group. Now that Gundam Inc. and the Shinsei Corporation are working together, Feng of the Space Assembly League plan on investigating them. She also tells her that Nika isn't being held by the front management company. Earthhouse wasn't to get much information on their own, so they are grateful to Miorine. Suletta wants to show her the greenhouse when Prospera makes an appearance. She wanted to say hi and suggests she go out with Miorine. Awkward. Elon 5 is taking a lot of flack from Peel after the school incident. He plans on taking Ariel. He gets into the mobile suit and he begins panicking as he enters the data storm. There he sees Eddie. She tells him that he shouldn't be here. He panics and leaves the Gundam. Belmeria is watching him. She works for PAL now, but she still believes in the ideals of Gundam tech. She gets a little too into her ideals, so Elon 5 gives her a good old bright slap. Miorine apologizes for being mad at Suletta after the tomato sauce incident at Plant Quetta, but she still doesn't like that she kills for the sake of her mother. She asks if her mother asked her to leave the school, would she do it? Suletta says, oh yeah, totally. She asks if her mother told her to kill, would she do it? She says yes. She is ultimately a puppet being groomed by her mother. Miorine runs away and finds Prospera and demands to know why she is doing this to her. Prospera tells her that this is all a part of her family's vengeance. They are the only survivors of the Vanadis incident 21 years ago. Everyone she knew and loved were slaughtered because of Delling in the name of a witch hunt. She doesn't really care about being called a murderer after what her father did. Prospera goes, oh, so you finally decided to work with me on the Quiet Zero plan. She wants Miorine to run for president in the election so they can get the Quiet Zero program moving. She says, you come from the blood of a murderer. You can make this happen. She agrees to help her out in exchange for not using Suletta anymore, but she must engage in one last duel before she will let her go. Then they could do whatever they want. However, Prospera believes that Suletta and Ariel won't want to ever part. The next day, at school, Miorine asks if she would give up Ariel. Of course, she says no because Ariel is like family to her. Shadik meets with the Pale Grandmas to discuss a partnership as he plans on running for president. He wants to give Gundam Inc. and production of all Gundam to Pale Technologies as they built Ferric in secret. Of course, this is something that Sarius would never allow. They realize that Shadik did something to him and he isn't coming back. While Suletta is watering the tomatoes, Elon comes and demands that she gives him to Ariel. I believe this is the real Elon, but it might be Elon 5. That is when Guel comes and protects her. He tells her that he is returning to take over as president of Jeturk House. He is tired of running away from his problems. He says that he learned this from her. He once again confesses his feelings for Suletta. She is grateful, but she has someone else that she must protect. The walking pair of legs was listening to the conversation. Miorine has decided on what she wants for her birthday coming up. She wants Suletta to duel Guel. Guel is trying to build up Jeturk Heavy Industries, but he will need help, and the two must work together. In order to do that, Guel must win the duel. In this duel, the Hotto is the observer. Is that allowed? Also, this Hotto sounds so serious. I don't like it, but this is the series that brings us Death Hottos. More on that during the last episode. If Suletta wins, Guel must help Earth House from the harassment it has been receiving. If Guel wins, Suletta must give up Ariel. She doesn't want to agree, but Miorine urges her. Guel has a perfectly good character design. Let's run it with a haircut. Prospera wishes Suletta luck in her duel. Everyone is working against her, even her mother. Guel is using the Garibaldi. When he gets inside his mobile suit, he is reminded of the last time he was in one, when he killed his father. The two enter the battlefield. Pale Technologies is ready to incinerate Elon 5, just like they did Elon 4, but he has gone missing. He meets with Nika and Noria. He wants to work with them. The two begin their duel. Guel keeps getting PTSD on the battlefield. Belmeria is with Prospera as they take their leave from the front. It seems Belmeria's freakout about her ideals earlier were all a ploy to get people to make moves. Suletta uses her gun to bits to disarm Guel. She goes in for the attack, and he begins defending after having another panic attack. He uses his bits and begins attacking. He is able to take out Ariel's left arm. She tries to use her permit to disarm the Garibaldi, but Miorine deactivates Eddie. This allows Guel to swiftly come in and slice off her antenna, winning the match. Suletta loses for the first time since becoming the holder. Miorine tells Suletta that she shut down Eddie and that she wanted her to lose. She says, "I am only committed to winners, peace." As Suletta has nothing left, she begins to throw herself into school activities. Earth House has lunch. Suletta says, "Everything's so great. We are having such a good time. This is great. Everything is great." Yeah, she isn't taking it well. Guel is struggling to get investors on board. Prospera suggests they roll out the new mobile suit to gain support. Guel shows Miorine the new Gundam Schwarzette. The MDX-0003 Gundam Schwarzette is the first gun format tech mobile suit built by Jeturk Heavy Machinery. This is due to Prospera providing them with the tech. This is designed to be the successor to the Garibaldi, with great enhancements in its AI system. Its primary weapon is the Guardian, which is designed off of Ariel's gun bits. Like the gun bits, these can create a swarm controlled by the pilot. There are 4 offensive bit staves and 2 defensive bit staves. Each stave has a beam blade and a beam Gatling when fired in stealth mode. It also has an armed launcher and an omnidirectional laser. The Guardian has 3 different modes. The Guardian Sheath creates a giant beam blade weapon used for melee, and the bit staves can be used as a shield in this mode. The Guardian Draw mode makes the bit staves orbit the Gundam, acting as a layer of protection. And the Guardian Marionette, which is a charging mode. This is the same as Ariel's bit-on form, where the staves can connect to hardpoints and replenish energy. Prospera wants them to show off the mobile suit as a display of their joint partnership. Miorine doesn't want to, as Gundam is meant for medical purposes and not mobile suits. Currently, Prospera is over at Grassley trying to get talks done with them. Belmeria is overlooking the gun node. It is an unmanned Gundam that extends Ariel's data storm. More on this later. Shadiq is trying to get access to Donna Fold's Gundams from the attack, but something is stopping them from gaining access. He wants Prospera to help him. Guel and Miorine run over and wonder what he is doing. They find out that he is also running for president as he has gained the trust of Pale Tech already. Suletta doesn't blame herself for Miorine betraying her. Choo-Choo shakes her and says, "Come on, we are going to find Miorine." Elon 5 tells Nika that he isn't Elon and that Pale functions on an AI system and ranks everyone, with the original Elon being at the top. They are backups that look like Elon, or clones. They keep it vague, but their goal is to be guinea pigs for the Gundams, and they have some resistance to the data storm. If Nika were to use a Gundam, it would most likely kill her. The only exception seems to be Suletta and Ariel. Noria tries to stab Elon 5 for being a Spacian. Shadiq is getting more of a following, and Miorine wonders what their next move should be. Prospera shows her news of riots breaking out on Earth. This caused corporate overreach under the guise of investigating an incident. Miorine suggests that they go down to Earth and personally talk to the rioters. They can't go down with no show of force, so they decide to use Ariel. Meanwhile, Fang and the Space Assembly League question Belmeria. Martin talks to a Haro that acts as a crime hotline or some kind of digital therapist as he asks the Haro if he did the right thing. Regardless, it is all fake, as Cecilia was listening to his conversation and she knows he is a snitch. Kanaji Avery decides to escort Miorine and Guel to Earth. Suletta goes to meet with Miorine and finds Ariel. She gets inside and pilots the Gundam. While inside, she struggles to move forward like her mother suggests. That is when Ariel and the Data Storm show her the past. She sees Eddie, who tells her a story of a time she was playing simulation games in Ariel. Eddie tells Suletta that she is a Repli child, which is a clone in this universe. She was one of many born of Eddie's genes. Suletta always mentions being the only child on Mercury, so I'm curious what happened to these other potential clones. I guess they got swallowed up by the Data Storm too? Suletta was made to be Eddie's body. However, once she reaches a permit score of 8, she will no longer need Suletta to help her move. Quiet Zero will help her achieve this. She says that she is no longer important to her or her mother, and she ejects her out of the mobile suit. Prospera comes and grabs her. She leaves a buoy for someone to save her, and she takes Ariel. She tells her to go back to school. It seems that Eddie and Prospera are doing this so Suletta doesn't get involved in what's to come. And that will do it for this episode. Eddie is the reason for why permit doesn't affect Suletta, but that no longer matters as she will live once again. Next time, Suletta becomes a sad girl. Guel learns that Shadiq kidnapped Sarius, and Miorine heads to Earth. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, don't get betrayed by a walking pair of legs. Peace.